Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome and welcome back to my channel and welcome to Vlogmas Day 19. So today we are doing the Christmas Carol book tag, and this was originally created by Lauren Wade, so make sure to leave their video down below so you guys can go check it out. And before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe down below if you have not yet already, because I am uploading a video every single day this month and you're not going to want to miss any of it. Let's just get right on into the tag. So question number 1, The Ghost of Christmas Past, a book that was a childhood favorite. So for this one I went with The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. This was one of my absolute favorites. I just remember reading it literally all the time. Like, I would take it to all my dentist appointments, I would take it to school, like I would just take this book everywhere with me. I have such fond memories surrounding The Wizard of Oz, the movie as well. I was literally even Dorothy one year for Halloween because that's just how much I love this story. I reread this book for the first time since I was a kid earlier this year. I have a whole reading vlog for it, so if you want to check it out, it'll be up in the cards and down below in the description if you want to check it out. It's one of my favorite videos that I've done this year, so you're definitely not going to want to miss it if you haven't already seen it. But yeah, I just absolutely adore this book. It's so whimsical and fun, and I love the characters. Like, everything about this book I just adore so much, and I can definitely see myself rereading it many times in the future. Question number 2, The Ghost of Christmas Present, a recent book that you think will become one of your all-time favorites. So for this one I'm going with Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Poston. This is the 3rd book in the Once Upon a Con series, and guys, I read this earlier this year. I don't even know when I read this book. Was it September? I have no idea, but I read this book earlier this year and just absolutely fell in love with it. Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite Disney movies ever, and Ashley Poston just adapts fairy tales into contemporary books just so seamlessly and beautifully. And this one I think has to be either my favorite out of this trilogy or my second favorite, because Geekerella kind of holds a special place in my heart. But this one was just so good. I love the characters, the romance, the tension between the characters. And obviously, since this is the 3rd and final book, we do get cameos of characters or mentions of characters from the previous 2 books, which I really enjoyed. Just everything about this book was so good, and I'm just absolutely in love with it, and I can't wait to reread it one day because I'm just so obsessed with it. So this one I can already tell it's gonna be one of my all-time favorites. Question number 3, The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, a book coming out next year that you're most excited about. So for me, that is definitely Counting Down with You by Tashi Bouillon. I don't know why, but I just found this book one day on Twitter and just became absolutely obsessed with it. Like, it's all I can think about is just this book and wanting to read this book. It just seems so interesting. It's fake dating, which I'm just obsessed with, and I'm always looking for more stories with fake dating in it, and I just think that this book sounds so good. The author seems like such an amazing person, and I'm just yeah, I cannot wait for this book. It comes out, I believe, in May of 2021, and I just literally cannot wait to get my hands on this book because it just seems like it's going to be an absolute favorite. Question number 4, Bah Humbug, a book that everyone else loves that you can't stand. So there were a lot of books that I could have gone for this question, or at least a couple of books I could have gone for this question, but I decided to go with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I DNF'd this book with 50 pages left to go because I was just so tired of it. It was so boring. I did not like the romance. Every time I talk about this book, all I can think about is how weird the romance was. So there's a weird time warp in this book. So our main character discovers this time warp where Miss Peregrine and her peculiar children are stuck in this time warp of this 1 year that they just keep reliving, I think. And he ends up going and he finds out that his grandfather was actually in this time loop at one point. I don't really know, I can't remember, it's just a couple of years ago at this point, but our main character ends up falling in love or having a crush on one of the peculiar children who his grandfather used to date. And he knows this, it's common knowledge that his grandfather dated this girl and now he likes her, and I just think that is so weird and so unnecessary. I love romance. If you guys have been around my channel, you will know that contemporary is my favorite genre. I'm a sucker for romance, okay? But if I am reading a book and I can just tell that a romance is not necessary for the story, then it just really bothers me. For example, Sight, the romance was not necessary. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, this romance was not necessary. The story just did not need it whatsoever. They could have just stayed friends, and I don't understand why it was going in the direction of a romance. I just did not like it. And just everything about this book, it was just really boring. I think the only thing I enjoyed was the creepy pictures that Ransom Riggs incorporated into the book. I just did not care about this book, and I know that a lot of people love it. I feel like more people now aren't liking it and aren't really reading it anymore. I know that he decided to continue the series and there's 6 books now or something, but this is just not something that I care for or ever want to try to read again. It's just no thank you. Question number 5, Bob Cratchit, an old dependable that you always recommend. I feel like this is no no surprise. But Wonder by R.J. Palacio. This is my favorite book of all time. I feel like I'm always trying to find excuses to recommend this book and talk about this book. I just think that it's a book that everyone can enjoy. It is a middle grade story, but I do think that all ages can enjoy it and should read it. It's just such a heartwarming and beautiful story about a kid who has a facial deformity, and he's never gone to public school until now, 5th grade. He goes to public school for the first time, and he deals with a lot of bullying and just kind of discrimination against what he looks like. I'm just obsessed with this book, and I think that everyone can enjoy this book. So if you're looking for a nice, like, sad but also heartwarming book to read, this one is definitely it. I could literally talk about this book for hours on end. I'm just so obsessed with it. Question number 6, Tiny Tim. An underhyped book that you think deserves more love. For this one, I went with Only Mostly Devastated by Sophie Gonzalez. This is a book that I loved so much. I read it earlier this year, and it was just done so well. It's such a fun, cute contemporary. It's a loose Grease retelling, and all of those Grease elements just tied in so beautifully and were done so well. Like, I would freak out anytime there was like any little nod to Grease. It was amazing. And I just think that if you like Grease, you can find something to enjoy about this. If you like fun, cute contemporaries, this one is amazing. It has a male-male romance in it. I believe one of them is gay and the other one's bisexual, if I remember correctly. I believe there's another character who's bisexual or pansexual or something. It's been months since I've read this, so I can't remember exactly, but a lot of queerness going on. We love it. And I love this book so much, and I think that more people should love it and read it because I've hardly heard about it at all on booktube, if at all. I know I've heard about it a bit on Twitter, but like, read this book. It is literally so much fun. Question number 7, today, why it's Christmas Day. What's a book that always gets you in the mood for Christmas? So for me, that is definitely The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is one of the very few Christmas books that I actually enjoy that I've read. It's just such a fun story, and it goes perfectly for this book tag because it is a Christmas Carol retelling. So if you don't know what it's about, we basically follow our main character Holly Chase, and she is a Scrooge through and through. So on Christmas Eve, she gets visited by the 3 ghosts, and they all tell her, if you don't change your ways, you are going to die. She does not believe them, and so on Christmas Day, she ends up dying, and she gets recruited into Project Scrooge as the new ghost of Christmas Past, and she now has to help future Scrooges to change their ways. It is just such a creative and unique story, and I am obsessed with it. It is so much fun to read every year. So if you like A Christmas Carol, I recommend this. If you like Christmas in general, I recommend this. If you like unlikable main characters, I also recommend this because Holly Chase, she's not a great person. So if you like unlikable main characters, I really think you would like this. It is just such a fun book, and I read it every single year now, and I recommend that you guys pick it up as well. Question number 8, The Muppet Christmas Carol. Your favorite film adaptation of a book. So I feel like this comes as no surprise. I've mentioned it in a previous day of Vlogmas, but Wonder. This is my favorite movie of all time, but also my favorite book to movie adaptation of all time. It was just done so well. They just took every element that I loved from the book and translated it into film so beautifully. The characters are so good. The story is just so beautiful, and I just literally, it's my favorite book to movie adaptation of all time. Everything was just done so perfectly, and it's literally a masterpiece in my eyes. It's really good. The cast is stellar. Like, everything about this movie is so good. The actor who plays Augie, Jacob Tremblay, I love him. He lives in my city, which I'm just obsessed with. We have Owen Wilson, who I am obsessed with, and he did such a good job in this role. Julia Roberts, who I'm obsessed with, also did such a good job in her role. They did so well with this movie. Like, they just hit all of the right marks. And question number 9, tag some people. So I don't really know who wants to do this tag, but I think I'll just tag Peyton Reeds, maybe Lisa Marie Reeds if she wants to do it. If you want to do this tag, you can say that I tagged you. I don't really like tagging people just because I don't know what people have planned for their channel or what people are doing, and we are kind of on a bit of a time crunch, especially when this video is going up. So if I tagged you, you don't have to do it, but if you want to do this video, you can say that I tagged you if you would like. But that was the Christmas Carol book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below a star emoji if you've stayed till the very end. Subscribe if you have not yet already, because I am uploading videos every single day this month. So until December 31st, you're seeing me every single day, so you don't want to miss it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!